Active FM. Radio has never been better.
What is up?
How you doing?
This is the movie show.
On your favorite RSPS?
I'm Zash.
My name is Ryan.
And, shockingly enough, this is our second animation. 2 weeks in a row.
Doing well? Doing very good, and it's a game at the same time. So welcome, gamers.
Yeah, so last week we did I almost said The Amazing Spider-Man. We did not do The Amazing Spider-Man. We did Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which we said was the greatest animation of all time.
And it still stands to be the greatest animation.
Yeah,
of
it
all
still
time.
stands to be the greatest animation, but Mario wasn't bad. Mario was cool.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing that there was the whole video game, like history and all of that behind the film was what made it like really cool.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing the trailer the first time in cinemas and like the whole obviously it looked okay in the trailer, it looked like, well I suppose it was, but Donkey Kong, you're like, ah, and then
Yeah.
I remember for me the moment in the trailer that was like, oh my goodness, was when they revealed the Rainbow Road. And then I was
yeah.
just like, oh, it's the Rainbow Road. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember like watching the trailer and just thinking, that's the game. That is the game right there. So that is what we're going to be discussing today.
A lot of memories from Super Mario Brothers in this film. Even the soundtracks.
Yes.
Some of the stuff they played, you're like, oh, cool. Oh, this is awesome. This is really, and especially like the sped up parts and that. So there's a lot of game trivia, Easter eggs, stuff.
Yeah, they tribute
did
a
well.
lot. They
Yeah,
tribute
that's
a
it.
lot
That's
to the
it.
games. Yeah. I actually personally was very overwhelmed when doing research because like they go into like this thing was from this game in 19 whatever and this thing was from this game in 9. You're just like, whoa. But you can see like they put in a lot of thoughts and a lot of like
Exactly.
how can we bring this amazing character to life? This isn't the first time though that Mario came to the big screen.
Yeah.
The first time
93.
The first time, though, wasn't anywhere as close as the... It wasn't even animated.
They say that it was a failed attempt.
Yeah, no, I feel
Literally.
like... So it was a live-action film. Yeah. And
Live action version of Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers.
Doesn't make sense to
it
me.
doesn't make any sense. It really
No.
doesn't make any sense.
No.
And I mean, weren't they were making animation at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like... I don't understand why... Yeah, no, but anyway, we're not going to discuss that one. We're going to discuss the 2023 version, or the 2023 film. And it is an adventure comedy that runs for 1 hour and 32 minutes.
It was satisfying. My kids enjoyed this one. We all loved it. It was really, really great.
Yeah.
Yes, and enjoy it. I was very more interested in the characters, the guys whose voices
Yeah, the actors.
were used and how they pulled it off because... like, I knew Jack Black was in it, but I thought it was the little mushroom dude.
Oh, wow.
Because he actually sounds a lot like that. Even my wife looked at me and said, Is that? I was like, oh. And then now, when I did my research, I'm like, wait, that wasn't even him. But then also at the same time, the bad guy, what is his name?
Browser.
Yes. There was some stuff that he said, I was like, wait a minute. Like, he gets on the piano and he's like,
Yes.
come jam with me. And I was like, And then, like, he sang, like, that very old rock and roll,
That song was so funny, though.
heart-filled,
That song was like the perfect mix of like rock plus comedy. Like the peach is peach.
Exactly.
Peach.
And that's Jack Black's style.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's why...
It reminded me of what was that movie? School of Rock.
Exactly.
School of Rock. Yeah, that was
Exactly.
a cool movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, the cast. I think one of the draw cards to this film was the cast because like they got a very good group of people.
And interesting
like an
for
interesting
Mario
group.
Brothers.
Yeah. So if you don't know, okay, let's do this right. If you had to pick any actor, I know you know who the actor was who did it, but if you had to pick like any actor to do the voice of Mario, who would it be?
It would probably be like some guy with a mustache, with black hair and stuff, you know, some quirky kind of guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
with like Italian
yeah.
roots to him.
I mean, my wife was guessing all the different ads, like, oh, that's so and so. And then I asked her, who do you think Mario is? And she didn't know.
She didn't know.
Only until the end credits, she was like, what?
Yeah.
So, but I think for me, the interesting thing that makes the cast is because, okay, if they did like a normal voiceover kind of thing, like let's say Chris Pratt and the Lego movie, like that kind of role where you're just talking normal.
Yeah.
and expressing whatever's happening in the moment. But they actually put on an act, and not only that, but that they did a lot of research into each character. And I know that a lot of thought was put into, okay, what would this character sound like, and how am I going to portray it? Absolutely, how do I do this? And like Chris Pratt surprised me in this film.
Yeah.
There were a lot of voices that I heard. I'm like, wait, are we still talking about Chris Pratt here?
Like Peter Quill, like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly.
Like Jurassic World, Chris Pratt, like
Exactly.
that one. Yeah.
So and even the guy that does play little mushroom dude,
Oh, that guy was I have him.
Keegan-Michael Key.
There we go. He's done a lot.
I
of
was
comedy.
like, what? When I saw the guy, I was like, okay, it's not Jack Black. Who was it? Oh, it's this guy. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So just to give you like a what's the word? A summary of the cast. You had Chris Pratt who played Mario. You had Jack Black who played Bowser. I think he was brilliant. You had Charlie Day who played Luigi. He did a good job as well.
He did a good job.
Because he's also got a very distinct voice.
Yeah.
And yet, I don't know about you, but it wasn't that noticeable within
No.
the film. Yeah.
I was going to say that the same with Jack Black. You often
yes.
pick him out like this, like very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like shocked. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And then Donkey Kong was played by Seth Rogen. I think he had the most like obvious voice in a way, because you just know Seth Rogen's voice.
Yeah, it was weird. I couldn't put my finger. In fact, when I looked at his face, I was like, it rings a bell.
Okay.
And then remember the movie that we watched? It was Peter Spielberg's film.
Oh yes, The
And
Fablemans.
Yeah, The Fablemans, and it was the guy, that dude,
The dude.
the naughty guy.
Yeah. And then Princess Peach was played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And then, yes, we said that Toad was played by Keegan-Michael Key. And that was like, obviously there were
Toad.
other voices, but that was like the basic
Yeah.
of the voice. But I found this interesting. I didn't realize this. So the actual guy that voiced Mario in like all of the original games, and that is a man by the name of Charles Martinet. Charles Martinet.
That guy.
And he was in the film, Ryan. Do you know that? Do you know he was in the film? Twice.
Was in the commercial.
No, he
Oh.
wasn't in the commercial.
So there was Chris Pratt in the commercial. And it's a great commercial.
It is
by
a
the
good
way.
commercial. It's a very good commercial. So this guy actually, Charles Martinet is an American actor who actually portrayed both Mario and Luigi in the Super Mario video game series since 1991. And obviously I think a lot of people wanted him to voice Mario. They didn't go for it. But I think Chris Pratt did a very, very good job. Also, like, I think there is a difference between like voice what's the word? Like voice acting for a game as opposed to a film. Because a film, do you understand? Like
It takes a very distinct kind of person.
Yes. So like
to do the gaming.
the film is like a person who's into storytelling and acting.
Very
and
animated.
Very animated.
Yeah.
Whereas the game is you're bringing to life a character. But yeah. So I think they were wise to go the route that they did. But he was still in the film.
I'm
do you want to know
I'm
who he
still
played?
interested to know.
Do you want to know who he played?
Wait, he played a character.
He played two characters.
What?
Yeah. The one character just had like a one-liner, but then the second character had more of like a prominent role.
Is it in Mario's family?
Maybe.
No, I'm asking a question. You have to. I'm trying to narrow this thing down.
I'm not giving clues.
Help me narrow it. The
No.
father.
It was the father.
Was
yes.
it the father?
So the father was the original voice of
And then you
Mario.
said another character that wasn't.
So the other one was
There were
after
too
the
many.
commercial. You know when they watch the commercial in the diner,
yeah.
and then he says to Luigi, "Were the Italian accents too much?" And then there was a guy behind him that turned around and in an Italian
Spark
accent,
or something.
Basically said an Italian accent
Spike.
is never too much. Not
Spike.
He literally just had one line where he basically told him
yeah.
the Italian accent.
I
You
know-
can never go wrong with
I
an
know who
Italian
you're talking
accent. Yes.
about.
That was also the voice of the
Oh,
original.
okay.
Yeah, but I actually didn't realize he played both Mario and Luigi. That's quite interesting.
I didn't know Mario had a voice, to be honest with you.
As in an actor.
Yeah, because I've played the original Mario Brothers, and I don't remember hearing a voice. So it's obviously in a more later game or something.
But that's like the sound effects and stuff like that. I
doing,
suppose.
doing, doing.
Okay, I know the voice of Mario, but I did play like later because like I got
Maybe
a
that's
Nintendo
where-
Wii and we had
that's-
Mario Kart.
Yeah, when I saw like the 3D version of, I couldn't relate to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, this is obviously more. Yeah,
more recent. But I think that's also the cool part about this film is it's for a very wide audience, in that obviously Mario came out like, what was it, 30 years ago? Like it came out a long time ago when like you still
Sure.
had like the 2D like a game
cartridges.
animation. Yes. But yes, and even where you had to like
Yeah.
blow on it and stuff. In fact, there was even a nod to that in the movie. At one point, someone bought. I don't know what they bought, but the shop owner says to them, "You might want to blow in it first," and that was a nod to how gamers would always have to blow in to get rid of the dust.
Yep.
And yeah, but so there's that audience, which is obviously an older audience now because they played the
That's
game when
me.
they were, but like even older than you, Ryan.
yeah, because it's been around for,
Yeah, it's been around for long.
for centuries.
And then now you have the because Nintendo has just like almost like progressed as the years have gone on. So you like started off with like the big arcades, and then now it's gone to like little Nintendo Switches, which you can literally just like carry around with you, and like so like it's really progressed over like a very wide generation. So like I know Chris Pratt said he started playing it when he was 9. That was the first time he played Mario, and his son started playing Mario for some reason also when he was
Also at
9.
9.
And he was now going to take his son to see the movie, and they were both going to experience it together. And yeah, I did see a review which said they expected it to be more funny, which I hear what they're saying, because it wasn't like
yeah,
it wasn't like over comedy, if you understand what I'm saying. Like it didn't feel like every single second of the film their aim was to like crack a joke, or do you understand what I'm saying? So there were comedic elements to it, but I felt like I think maybe also because of the cast, it's got a very comedic cast to it.
True.
So they thought, that it was going to go more comedic. I don't think though that took away from the film. Like I think their focus was on bringing the video games to life and doing it justice and doing it right. And I think that didn't. Comedy could have almost like trumped that in a way, and they got. I think they got a good balance.
was a good balance
Yeah.
between movie and game as well.
Yes.
Like I said, a lot of the soundtracks that I heard, I had forgotten about.
Yeah.
Then when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, wow.
Actually, crazy enough, on the soundtracks, so in the film they obviously had, they've got so many different games to choose from. Like there's been so many different versions of the games that have come out over the year, but Super Mario Brothers movie composer says that at least 130 Mario songs are referenced in the film. 130.
I thought there was like 3 or 4.
No, 130 songs. Sorry.
Ah.
And we're talking about an hour and 30-minute film. We're not talking about a 2 hour
Yeah.
30. So like that's a lot of music to reference in an hour and 30 minutes.
I like how they also like mixed it. I think if that's the
Yes.
right word. So there might be like just as an example. Like this didn't really happen in the film, but just as an example, maybe there was a more sort of sad part, and they would still have the Mario Brothers theme in like this violent type of, sound. So they would keep like the music and just try and
Like alter it slightly.
Yeah.
But I know that so the original composer for the games actually worked with the film composer. They worked together, and they really you can see that they really, every single department did their homework. Like you can see every single
Absolutely.
department like played the game, and not even as a child. Like some of them hadn't played the game yet, so they made sure that they went and played enough so that they could get enough referencing for whatever it is that they were doing, whether it be the music. I know the worlds that were built for like the film were insane, and also paid so much homage to the game itself. So like I remember for me it was the Rainbow Road because like I remember playing Mario Kart, like the Rainbow Road, like as a kid, like we would laugh so much because on that specific what's it called, what do you call a
Stage.
racing track, on that specific track, someone would always fall off, and then like people, and you'd hear the person be like, no, like as everyone's like driving. So like that was like a big joke. So like for me, when I saw the Rainbow Road, I was like, oh my goodness, they did the Rainbow Road. Like it brings back all of those childhood memories in a way. So I think that's also what's cool about it, is like And obviously, I had that with the Rainbow Road, but like someone else could have had it with, I don't know, like the Donkey Kong elements. Or I personally, I didn't really grow up playing Donkey Kong. I don't know. Yeah, I think that was a little bit,
Arcade.
yeah. But it was still cool to see because, like, obviously we know like there's pop culture, and I mean they've used, what was the other film they used Donkey Kong in?
Well, yeah, you're talking about
remember that?
like
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. So
When I saw the monkeys from, I was instantly like, wow, what? Donkey Kong. I'm like, wait, this is weird. You know, it seemed like Donkey Kong in Mario Brothers, but instantly I picked up, wait, this is Donkey Kong.
Yeah. And even that, the different characters. So like you had, obviously you had Mario and Luigi. Obviously Bowser was always like a hectic one. Peach. Like I remember whenever we played, someone was always Bowser, someone was always Peach, someone was always Mario, because obviously like we'd play group. But I must say the one character I was a little bit like, where is that character? And maybe they've left it open for a sequel. I don't know. But I think his name is Yoshi.
What was he? Who was he?
He was that little green... Was he a dinosaur? I also didn't realize the turtles were turtles. Like, you only click off and you're like, oh, wait, those things are actually like... Wow. Let me search what Yoshi was. But I remember, like, him not being there, I was just like, what did they do? Why didn't they put him in? So I think for me, like... Yeah, I was slightly disappointed by the lack of him. So he's a fictional dinosaur who appears... in video games published by Nintendo, and that is how he looks right now.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, where is he? Because I would always play with that character. I think that's probably why.
Oh, is it?
Like, yeah, I was like, they didn't put him in. But shockingly enough, so Mario is a plumber.
You're right.
I don't know if you realize that, but ladies and gentlemen, Mario is a plumber.
If you've watched this film,
Now you know.
there's no ways you could not not know, because the opening sequel is their cool
Yeah.
advert.
But he wasn't originally a plumber. So Ryan, you're going to guess. What was he originally?
I was trying to figure out, because they obviously, in the beginning, they got the commercial, then you see him and his brother trying to... Did he make pizzas by any
No,
chance?
no. So okay, wait. Let me rephrase that question. Initially, so it's not that when he came out he was a plumber, right? But initially, what was he?
A handy...
No, not pizza, not handyman.
Not... I'm looking at his suit, I'm looking at everything, and I'm saying, what else could he be? Like, really, what else could he
It
be?
actually makes sense if you think about it. But I wouldn't have gotten it. Just throw them out there, Ryan. Go. You could possibly land on the right one.
Handyman.
What do you mean a handyman?
Plumber. Handyman.
Not plumber, no.
Yeah, those are the only two I see. Painter.
Nope, not painter.
Not a painter.
You're moving in the right direction-ish.
So some form of a handyman.
Yeah, he's some form of a handyman.
There's a very special trade there, isn't there?
Yes. So specific. He's not Bob the Builder. in other
Tyler.
words. No.
Carpenter.
Carpenter.
Really?
Yes. Mario was initially a carpenter. And this, listen to this, it actually makes sense.
An Italian
So,
carpenter.
An Italian carpenter. Donkey Kong, right, is set on a construction site where Mario's character was initially conceptualized as a carpenter for players and fans to identify with him as an ordinary, hard-working civilian. Later, he began appearing on Mario Brothers. The setting was shifted to New York sewers. So obviously, you know, like the actual like game world that
Yeah.
they were in, like the interface. So it was shifted to New York sewers. This underground backdrop demanded that the character be a plumber rather than a carpenter. While it seemed effortless to find a profession that would blend into the setting, much thought was put into choosing his profession. The video game character subsequently became a household name because it appeals because of its appeal and how easy and attractive it was to remember him.
Oh, okay.
How cool was it? How cool is that though? And I don't know if you know this. I thought this was so brilliant. I didn't pick it up while watching it, but afterwards I was like, that makes so much sense. So you know, in the beginning of the film, Mario and Luigi are called to that house, and then what does Mario say again? He knows a shortcut or whatever. Or there's construction happening.
Yeah.
So now they're like, oh flip, and then Mario decides, no, we're gonna jump through it, right? And at that point, the camera moves to like a 2D view of him going through the construction sites.
Yeah.
They built the construction sites. How he gets through the construction sites is the same as how he gets through on level 1 of Mario Brothers. So even at the end, he lands on the flag. And on top of that, at the end of level 1, there was always a castle after the flag.
Yeah.
If you look carefully, there's a shop with the word castle
Yeah.
on it. So I thought that was so
I saw
cool.
the
Like
castle.
the homage that they paid to the game itself was very, very cool. Yeah. And then, we know that Mario and Luigi are voiced by the same person.
Yes.
But did you know that actually Donkey Kong was, he was an antagonist in Donkey Kong Jr., as in Mario was an antagonist in Donkey Kong Jr. So after making his screen debut in Donkey Kong, the character appeared in the sequel game, Donkey Kong Jr. Jr. was who we saw in the film, hey?
Yes.
Yes. Which was released in 1982. Unlike all his other appearances where he's designed to be a simple and likable man that the players will root for, I didn't know this. He was selected as a villain in Donkey Kong Jr. He traps Donkey Kong in a cage as his son tries his best to rescue him in the game. Mario's looking Donkey Kong Jr. contrasts most of his roles in other games, as his evil nature was willfully highlighted with a longer moustache and a less appealing aesthetic on the whole. So Mario at some point was the bad guy.
Okay. Interesting.
I feel like it doesn't suit him.
No.
Mario just will always be the good guy, you know?
Luigi.
Yeah. But I think they did a very, very good job. Do you think a sequel would work?
Absolutely. Yeah. I can think of a couple animation films that it kind of play. Obviously, it's not something like this film stuck out just because of its history with the game. Yeah.
You almost wonder why it took them this long. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I suppose because it's just, I don't know, a lot of films, other films too. I don't know if the idea did come across and they were kind of like thinking about that 1993. They're like, no, maybe not now. Yeah, because
it didn't even come out by one of the because it came out by Illumination. So Illumination is the same people that did like Minions and Despicable Me. What else have they done?
Yeah, they've done a lot, eh?
Have they done a lot?
Yeah, these guys have
I suppose what's nice about Illumination as well is they're not like with Pixar. Pixar in a way keeps its animation the same. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand where I'm coming from? So like the look and feel in a way. Like you can see it's a Pixar film. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or for example, you can see when it's a Disney animated film. Like you can just tell this is Disney. This was done by Disney. But then with Illumination, they've almost got like they'll serve the purpose of the film.
They did Sing 2.
Oh, of course.
Secret Life of Pets, Dr. Zeus, Despicable Me, obviously, as we know them. Yeah, they've done a lot.
Oh, the Lorax. They did the Lorax.
Yeah. I would say...
But their first was Despicable Me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they also have a very distinct...
They do have a distinct style.
kind of look.
But like with this one, they didn't stick to that style. Or do you still think they stuck to the style?
No, I could. Maybe it's because I saw it first, and then I was like, oh. And then I saw the movie started, and I was like, oh, makes sense. Looking at the world, looking at each character.
Okay, I get you. The Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, I can agree that that's because like Secret Life of Pets kind of was on the same vibe. But like the when they went into like the Mushroom Kingdom, and do you still feel like it?
Mm-mm. No, that was definitely quite different.
You probably find it was also because they were working with Nintendo.
Yeah.
So if you see in the beginning of the film, it's Nintendo
So a different
and
influence.
Illumination. Yeah. So,
So-
it was more of a collaboration than just an Illumination film. Yeah.
Because in the more modern game version of Super Mario's, do you have any cities or towns, or is it just straight into the world of whatever, the mushroom world or whatever?
Okay, I can only speak for I can speak the most for Mario Kart because that's
Yeah.
what we played. With Mario Kart, you had quite a few worlds because obviously it was a track on like it depended where you went, and then there was Browser's Castle. I remember we'd always go to Browser's Castle. There was a shopping center. There was a literal shopping center that you could go and drive around. There was actually very cool worlds. Like they created, there were different worlds and. Yeah, so it just depended on like where there was even an autumn tree, autumn forest thing.
I want to try this. Sounds cool.
Yeah, no, it was. Look, it was back then, eh? So you know how you look at animation now and you're just like, why did it look more HD
Yeah.
when we like now you're just like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
the quality is so bad. But when you were a child or when you were younger, you were just like, this is amazing. So yeah, right now it might not be the best too.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like on the newer stuff, like the newer Nintendo devices, they've
A lot more
updated all of
advanced.
it. Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that and I only know he's the head of Nintendo because of Tetris. So guys, you see it.
I was also
going to
say-
the head of the head of Nintendo was in a couple of interviews and he had gotten involved. He's a Japanese man, and it was cool to see him in real life. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's the guy from Tetris.
Good choice of actor in
Yeah.
Tetris.
Yes,
Ah.
they actually really did
Ah.
look alike. Like
Yeah.
now, it just he
I
just
felt like
looks older.
I felt like I knew him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
You're like, oh, what's
there
up,
you go.
man? I know him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah, so it was a good film. Yeah.
For
me, it wasn't better than Spider-Man, though.
No.
I will say that straight shame. We should have watched it first and then Spider-Man.
And
But anyway,
And Spider-Man tops it in my list on movies and animation. So for me right now, that's like the best film. And I'm looking forward to the third part.
yeah. Spider-Man definitely blurs the line between animation and just like films. Yeah. But like this one definitely would just fall under animation.
I'm sure the Super Mario's, I still spoke in the beginning of the year or end of last year, one of our shows, when we spoke about this film coming out, I still said how dramatic the trailer is. It's like doo, doo, boo, like bass drops and stuff like that. But
then they still brought in
Yeah.
the sound,
Maybe
the well-known sound.
maybe
effects.
not much of the soundtracks were made then for the trailer.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Kind of thing, because it's just like the whole invasion in the beginning, and then you see Mario on the mushroom, and then I don't remember if there were any other parts.
The trailer I watched, but I probably watched
I
a
don't
different trailer
remember,
too, was
yeah?
the trailer that starts off with the fights with Donkey Kong. That was the one I saw. But it might have been a later trailer
I
because
think
I saw
so.
that one in cinemas.
Yeah, no,
So
the first one we saw was that one, the invasion, and then like the funny because they're like all throwing snowballs. And then he's just like standing there, cluck, 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 and he like eliminates them, wipes them out. And then you see Cloud, and then there might be one or two other pieces that they picked, but I don't remember hearing any of the Mario Brothers music,
yeah.
even for the trailer, which actually would have been really cool. But maybe it wasn't ready at that time, so
Might have not been ready.
don't know about the trailer that you watched, if there was more.
No, I can't remember. There might have been like at the end, but not like not fully fleshed.
I remember a friend of mine could play, you know, when you browse car, you know that doon doon doon.
Oh yes.
You could play it on bass.
Oh
It's
serious?
pretty crazy. Doon 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 doon.
That's cool, man.
Doodle doo 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 doo. Yeah.
It's funny because the game music is so expressive, like, but
It is.
It's like
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like too. It's so expressive. It's like faking away, but it works.
So
with the
basic,
yeah.
but so expressive. Yeah. One of the actors actually contrasted it to Jaws.
Actually,
Like so simple, but so very expressive kind of thing. Just shows you can.
all you need is two notes.
Just some simple, 2 notes.
That reminds me of Stranger Things music.
Oh, is
Because
it?
Stranger Things music has to say, look, okay, it is a lot more. It's not just two notes, but like it's that whole like, it's like it's almost, it almost sounds like the the composer had like this very old like 80s synth to like and synth module to work with, and like he just composed everything on that synth, you know, like yeah.
Hey, a lot of those like old synth modules
No, you could do a lot.
are still big in the
They
industry
big,
today.
and you can do a lot with them.
In fact, I find that they prefer the older synth modules because they're more analog. They got a bit more like modulation to them and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So this was the Super Mario Brothers movie. Literally, it's called that. The Super Mario Brothers movie. Don't go watch the 19 watt version.
please look out for it.
Yeah, please look out. Please go watch
If the front cover has a big M on it and two guys in suits,
as in actual human beings.
yeah,
Don't watch it.
yeah,
You haven't watched it, right?
no,
Yeah, I was just
No.
like, that looks traumatizing. And
like-
I think I did so bad. I read somewhere that the directors even tried to get out of it. I don't know how they tried to get out of it, but yeah, don't do that to
that's
yourself.
bad.
Don't. It's probably one of
Shame.
the reasons it flopped as well.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, go watch the 2023 version.
There you go.
This has been the movie show.
On your favorite.
ORSPS.
Cheers.
Peace.